Melbourne have officially released Nelson Asofa-Solomona.
Wow.
So Nelson, we thought it was brewing. It's happened. Nelson no longer part of the Melbourne Storm. So 2 years left on a contract worth about $850,000 a year. So you would have to assume
$850
a year. You'd have to assume there was a nice little hefty payout for Nelson to move on. But Nelson, who's probably been in limbo for the club the last 2 seasons, played 215 games for Melbourne.
215.
Well, that's what Reedy's written here. Do you reckon? I'm going to fact check that.
Don't you dare doubt our man Loaf of Bread. Don't you dare.
That's a slew of appearances.
200.
That's good.
He hasn't played that many games.
Yeah, well,
He has 215 games. Should have doubt Reedy.
That's a big number.
215 games. That's a lot more than I anticipated.
I agree with that. That's a big number.
So, yeah, his time at Melbourne is done and dusted.
So $850 with 2 years to go. So that is $1.7 million that he is walking away from, but there'll be a payout. What's your best guess, MC? Because they'll be selling to him saying, in fact, you know what? Let's talk about it here.
In a moment.
It's time for I've Seen the Light. Looking for an energy provider that's as local as you are? Sumo. As local as your morning coffee run.
I see what you did there, Mitchie. So Mitchie's a comedian, right? And he loves the power of the pause. That was very, very good from you, Mitchie.
That was all timing, boys. I'm
Mitchie.
I'm just prepping for my show tonight.
I know you're beating yourself up, mate. Who cares? Life goes on. 1300 01 1170. What have we seen the light of? Where is Nelson going to go?
I'm going to say rugby union. I don't know if it's R360, but I think it'll be rugby union of some description. I just haven't heard, and this is not to say that he's not going to stay in league. I haven't heard a club that's in for him. But, you know, there's lots of things that happen in the game that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, but if he's getting a payout from the Storm... So the Storm aren't stupid, right? So they're not going to just pay him out and say, do as you please. There'd be a number that they've gone, okay, we're backing you to get another job. So how about we give you $300,000 per year?
I think it'd be at least 300,000. I wouldn't be surprised if he got $1 million.
Where of the 1.7?
It's a lot of 1.7. That's still $700,000.
That's a big payout.
They're desperate for him to go.
But he will easily scoop up 400 somewhere. So therefore he's in front.
Clubs have had the opportunity to sign him for 2 seasons, and for whatever reason, whether it was Nelson wanting to remain at Melbourne, or clubs not wanting, he just hasn't moved. But now he's officially out the door.
Wow.
So I think it's
You reckon they've paid $500 a year to get him off the $850 a year books?
Because that's probably what they were willing to chip in for him to play.
Wow. Super League, is that a viable option or not?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Maybe London. London are looking for players.
London calling. 1-300. By the way, just on that, seeing the light. If you're looking for an energy provider that's as local as you are, Sumo, as local as your morning coffee run, do you think Darren Lockyer and co being involved with the London Broncos will help their bid to get back into the Super League?
Has to help their bid. Has to help their bid. The fact they've already got Regan Campbell locked and loaded, regardless. I checked this. I think I said this on Tuesday. I wasn't sure. Regardless of if they get promoted or not.
Oh, right. So you followed this up?
Yeah. Regan Campbell-Gillard's locked in.
Okay. All right. There you go. That is fascinating there. That's why we've seen the light, folks. How's this for a big scalp too, by the way? Legendary fast bowler Mitch Starc has re-signed with the Sydney Sixers. I'm pleased to say that he's standing by to join the run home. G'day, Mitch.
Hello, guys. How are we?
Mate, we're very good. We are very, very good. And you're a foundation Sixer, a dual trophy winner, and... with the club, you have been slated to make your first Big Bash appearance in 11 seasons following the Ashes series. That's great news for the Magenta.
Yeah, really excited. Obviously, as you say there, I was lucky enough to be a foundation player and have I've been signed with the club and had a close association for all the seasons since round one. Obviously, Elise is at the club as well. And with my schedule freeing up after the Ashes, it felt like the right thing to do, or not the right thing to do, but something really excited to be doing and being a part of the group and hopefully being able to contribute to another trophy.
Mitch, great to see you back in the Sixers uniform. Was it just a matter of the schedule working for you this time around? Why have you decided to play in the BBL again?
I've retired from international T20, so as it stands, it was my schedule was pretty clear after the 5th test. So just so happened that there's a few games post Ashes I think at this stage it's sort of availability around 3 games plus finals. So, no, really excited to be available for that. Obviously a big summer ahead, so fully focused on the Ashes and then hopefully playing a part in Magenta. And obviously the finals overlap with the T20 World Cup. So if we happen to lose a few to that squad, then some old bloke with the left arm might just slot in.
We spoke a bit earlier around the Sixers, the first title that they won in the first season, and this was the bowling attack. Brett Lee, Mitchell Starc, Stephen O'Keefe, Stuart McGill. Handy.
Wow. Mate, you should have seen the Champions Trophy team.
Yeah.
No, that was a special sort of 12 months with obviously the Big Bash kicking off. As you mentioned, there are a few names. We had a fantastic squad of players, and then after winning BBL 1, we went over to South Africa for it was a Champions League, not the Champions Trophy, and then happened to win that. It was Josh, Paddy, and I were the attack there, and we had a quality team then. So. No, that was good fun, and it's hard to believe that we're going into BBL 15, I think it is, isn't it? So
yeah.
I'm a bit old, but no, really excited to still be at the Sixers after all this time, and really excited to be part of the group.
Hey, Mitch, across all formats, 725 international wickets, which is third all-time in Australia, only behind Shane Warne and Glenn McGrath. That is some achievement. Can you take us back to when you were a youngster? Were you a bloke who made every team, and was it always going to happen for you, or were you a late bloomer? How did that play out, Mitch?
Certainly wasn't in every team. No, I actually started out as a keeper who tried to slog them as a batter, and I still try and slog them as a batter. But no, I was a wicketkeeper till I was about 15, and didn't a few of the coaches at the time for the teams I was trialling for didn't see that as something I was going to be good at. So saw the height and thought I'd be a bowler, and then sort of happened pretty quick to try and learn how to do it all of the bowling stuff. And there was a little bit of talent there, and trying to work out the action and how it all worked. But with a few opportunities along the way, it's sort of learn on the job. But seems like it was a good choice in the end. So it was certainly didn't think I'd be playing cricket as a job per se when I was a kid, but no, really fortunate to be playing cricket.
We've just lost you. We got you back there.
Well, hang on. I know you're at the golf course. Maxie's not driving, is he? He's not driving the car. I thought we lost you.
No, I'm actually out with Joshy Hazelwood, actually.
Oh, what's the handicaps there, yourself versus Hazelwood?
Joshy's off 10 and I'm off 8, so it's
sharp.
Pretty close battle, but it's always good fun playing with a big fella.
You played in that Test series in the West Indies in July, mate. What have you been doing since then? Obviously, you wouldn't have had too many times where you've had a couple of months off, or the last couple of years. So, how's the body? What have you been doing to get yourself ready for the Ashes?
Yeah, I honestly can't think of the last time, if I've ever had sort of 2 months where I've been at home and not been injured and had the time to actually put back into my body. So it's been really, really beneficial, I think, to have sort of 8 weeks to give the body a chance just to freshen up post West Indies, as you mentioned. And whilst I had a niggle here or there, but it was nothing really stopping me. So it was nice to get in the gym, just really focus on getting in the gym, get some fitness back under the belt, obviously with a big summer coming up. And then I've been bowling for sort of the last 4 weeks. So we head off to Perth on Wednesday for the ODI series. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the last 8 weeks. Have some time at home, get in the gym, play a little bit of golf, cut the grass, spend some time with Elisa. So it's been, I think, physically and mentally, it's been a nice little gap.
Will you have any red ball cricket before the Ashes?
Yeah, at this stage, as I said, we get on a plane to Perth on Wednesday. We've got those 3 ODIs against India, and now with me not playing T20 cricket, all slotting for a Shield game in Sydney, and then we're back on a plane to Perth to get ready for the Test series. So a nice lead up to the Test series. Obviously, with having done some work back in Sydney around bowling and in the gym, but obviously no cricket for 8 weeks is going to have a little bit of rust perhaps, but feels pretty good in the nets, and then the body's feeling good. So hopefully that ODI series goes really well for us, and then it's all systems go for a big summer.
2 quick ones before we let you go, because we know you're on the golf course and we appreciate you sharing your time with us. Paddy Cummins. Paddy Cummins, is he 100% out of the first test, or we don't know yet?
Well, I keep hearing from the media, so I might have to ask you. But, no, he's in good spirits. We've seen him in and around training. He's doing his physical work, obviously not bowling at the minute, but in great spirits. And one thing I know of Paddy, he'll be doing all he can to either be ready for the first test or play a big part as much as he can through the series. So the first I heard of him being ruled out was through the media. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how much truth there is to that. But I know he's doing all he can to be ready to go, and there's still a few weeks to go. So fingers crossed he's playing a big role through the summer. But I know he's doing all he can.
Yeah, mate. How would you know, honestly, when blokes like Carayannis are putting?
I don't write cricket stories, mate. Come on. Enough rough with the footy players. But talk us through the English squad, mate. How much work are you doing on them now?
0.
None. Yeah. When does that? When does
I've
that
got 3
start?
games against India first.
Yeah, of course. So you get through the white ball series before you start looking towards the Ashes.
No, I don't think we obviously we've seen their squad come out, so that's pretty early, I think. Obviously we've got a few more Shield games before anything sort of formalised for our guys. Is a great opportunity for all the domestic guys to play Shield cricket first and foremost, but those guys that perhaps are being talked about for the squad, there's a lot of great cricket to come for Shield cricket. In terms of the Poms, I mean, yeah, look, we've got the 3 games against India, which is obviously front of mind with international games, but we won't formally really talk about them or start discussing anything touring camp in Perth. So, I mean, we've played. There are 2 squads that have played a lot against each other over the years. So, whilst we will be sitting down and having different discussions around what we want to do or how we see our games and focusing on us, there's not a whole lot of unknowns. It's obviously we know they're going to play pretty aggressive cricket. We know the squad they've got, and there's not really too many unknowns in that squad. So, yeah, we're a pretty well drilled team at the moment, and we'll talk when and what we need to. And everyone's pairing slightly differently at the moment, whilst we're not in the Australian camp as a group. So once we get into Perth for that test match prep, that's when we'll really knuckle down on our discussions and what we want to do.
When you say you're bowling, mate, getting back under, are you doing it at Cricket New South Wales headquarters in Silverwater? Where are you going for your paces at?
Yeah. So for the first sort of half of that 2-month break, it was all gym work and running. So I did all that at home. I've got a gym at home, so it was a chance just to sort of break away a little bit from the formalities of I guess someone else's schedule, and then do all my work on my own. I'd like to think I'm a pretty self-sufficient athlete, so doing that at home was a really nice break. And then once I was into heavy running sessions and bowling, I was sort of filtering into the New South Wales group. So yeah, the last few weeks has been training with the Blues boys, and obviously they've been preparing for Shield cricket and had a great win over in the West this week. And then again today we're in with the rest of the Blues squad this morning before Josh and I came out for a quick 18. So it's been good.
I'd love to know how the Healy/Starc household handled the grand final, knowing that the Healys are proud Queenslanders. Alyssa, a Broncos fan, or how did that play out, Mitch?
She's actually a Bulldogs fan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's a Maroon for 3 days of the year. No, she's been a long time Bulldogs fan, so fairly disappointed with the back end of the season, and very optimistic throughout most of it. But no, she tells me she's got a few bits of memorabilia, but she was a Terry Lamb fan, so I think she's been a Bulldogs supporter for a long time. So
wow.
The girls over in India, I know there are a few that watched the final. For me, I'm sorry to say, I'm certainly more AFL, so didn't bother me too much about who won the NRL final.
Up there, Kazali. Who won, Snoop or Teddy Swims?
I didn't actually see the entertainment on the NRL. I was watching the AFL and, saw all that, but didn't see too much of the NRL.
Yeah, that means that Swims won. I know you saw it.
I'll let you decide.
Okay. One last question. This is the last question. Sammy Konstas, tell us about this kid that you've, this time last year, or close enough to this time last year, we hadn't really heard of him, and then he bursts onto the scene on Boxing Day. How's he tracking 12 months on, would you say?
Yeah, he's finding his way. He's obviously very young. I mean, he's been at the forefront for a fair bit of the last sort of 6 to 9 months. So I think people have got to realise he's still very young and still learning his way to go about it. I think obviously a really exciting debut series, how he took the game on in Melbourne, had some success that way, and then he's found a little bit of difficulty in different matches and series and conditions. So I think one thing's for sure, the conditions in the West Indies were quite tough. A lot of that has struggled there and hard just to single out one young kid. But then, you wind back the clock sort of a week or two ago, had some success over in India for the Australia A series, and then found a little bit of trouble through the week over in WA. So he's starting to find the gears and see what's going to work and what's not. He's a huge talent. He's a lovely kid. He's got a lot of talent and he wants to learn. I think he's still got a lot of fantastic cricket ahead of him. We've just got to realise that he's only just turned 20. So, let him grow.
Well said, young man. We appreciate your time and we have taken up a lot of your time. I'm going to leave you with two questions in one, please, Mitch Starc. The question is this: which club do you rely upon most? Is it the 7-iron? Is it the 6-iron? And the second one is, we've kidnapped you for the last 20 minutes and we're very appreciative of that. What's Josh Hazelwood been doing in this time?
Josh is over to my right. We're just having a little beverage post round with the group of three of us. Favourite club, I think the one I relied most on is probably my 4-iron.
Oh.
It's probably my safety club when the woods aren't going where I want it. But I would say the 4-iron's probably my safety club.
Geez, we know you're a good golfer when your 4-iron's number one. I gave mine away. Mitch Starc, all the best, mate. We wish you all the best, and we cannot wait to be all across this. Of course, the white ball games first, and then we've got the big Ashes. And you, my friend, as I said, Michael Carayannis, international wickets in Australia, only 2. Warne, McGrath, number 3, Starc. That is some achievement. Mitchell Starc, thanks for joining the run home.
No, gents, thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful 4-iron. There you go. Oh, folks, I tell you what, if there's a Batman and Robin when it comes to journalism, it is the loaf of bread and the full package. Brent Reid and Michael Carayannis. Well, I don't know if he's Batman or if he's Robin, but anyway, Brent Reid's come up with this.
He's come up with the goods for once. I'll give him that.
Are you Robin or Batman?
I always liked Robin a little bit.
Did you? Okay. All right, anyway, Batman wrote this. Melbourne playmaker Jonah Pezet has formally told the Storm MC that he plans to explore the open market.
Yes.
Pezet has a clause. He's saying yes, like as if he knew, like as if don't let Batman have his time in the sign. Pezet had a clause in his deal that allowed him to go to the market if the Storm extended James Hughes. And it is understood he has decided to head down the path as a good, like, I don't think you'd come up with this word, slew of clubs.
Nah. Reedy uses these words all the time. Like, man,
Slew?
I don't know what that, like all these, I'm like, I don't know what they mean. Like there's a good
Reedy,
chance.
there was a slew of clubs waiting in the wings to speak to the young half. Parramatta, Canberra, Gold Coast and North Queensland are all believed to be monitoring his situation, although it should be stressed that Pezet hasn't ruled out staying at the Storm. In other words, he's in the box seat.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the box seat. MC, that is awesome. If Pezet leaves, Munster may be certain to stay. Are they both managed by Braith?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's lots of, I think we spoke about this on Tuesday when I was in, how it all would
Yeah.
play out, right? So it's interesting the fact that Jonah's taken up the option to leave the club. So he's a free, he's 100%.
He has to, doesn't he?
Well, he's a free agent now.
Yep.
Right? So he can go.
Yep.
It's interesting. There's multiple layers to this, right? So you have obviously Jonah Pezet and
Yep.
what his future will be. Cam Munster, they're all linked, right? Those two are linked because, and then you've got Ryan Pappenhausen, right? Who the Storm are probably of the belief, particularly if this R360 gets up, that Pappenhausen might have played his last game for Melbourne, right? So the plan would
Contracted, by the way, till the end of next
be
year,
end
right?
of next year, yeah.
Right, and I think you'll find grand final day, if it's not on the day, it's very close to the very day that R360
October
launches.
1, I think it's a Friday.
October 2.
Is R360.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a Friday. So,
Okay.
And then you've got, but I think the plan for the Storm is if Pappenhausen does leave, Munster to fullback, Pezet to 6 to keep him all in there.
Oh, right.
I don't like that. We were talking about with the Dolphins a couple of minutes ago around speed. I think the days of Munster playing fullback are gone.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. And then what? Then the next part of this is, and this is where you can get one on loaf of bread, Breedy, Folongo.
Well, he can't stay. How can he stay if he's there to replace Pappenhausen and then they put Munster in over the top? He can't stay, and he's on big money. So he'd be on the he will be gone.
Oh, Folongo's on big money.
Yeah, big money.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
For what he's been.
Yeah, I think it works into 6s or 7s, right? So it works up into it because he re-signed for a long-term deal. So there's no way, and the Storm do have some salary cap issues. So there's no way all those guys are there next year. So it's convoluted, right? If Munster elects to go to the Bears,
Yep.
then Jonah will stay,
Okay.
right? And he might get a 12-month loan and then come back.
Can I ask you this? So I'd only thought about this right now. If Nelson Asofa-Solomona is available for one of those grand finals, do they win one?
Not this year's.
So whether he was there or he wasn't,
Nah, doesn't happen.
you don't think so?
Not this year.
They were home anyway.
This year?
Yeah.
Well, if Reece plays the way he does, I think it's irrelevant.
But if Tui puts the ball down, which I feel for him desperately,
Yeah,
that's the game.
it is the game.
That's
But
the grand final.
Yeah, that 100% that's the game, but that's Tui. That's not Nelson.
Yeah.
I don't think Nelson would make a difference in terms of what Reece produced.
So what's the
I think
future
the
for
year
Nelson?
before. I think the year before.
What's the future for Nelson?
I think his time at Melbourne will come to an end. I don't see him playing for Melbourne again.
So is he R360 in?
So that was the original tip, right? And then some word of recent time is that they're not that interested in Nelson. So
Really?
Yeah. So does
Wow.
that mean he'll get a payout from the Storm if he does leave? And does that
When's he? Do you know when he's
he's
contracted
got
to?
2 more seasons?
Oh, 2 more.
Yeah.
On
So it'll be a hefty,
decent dosh.
hefty pay.
800K or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah, hefty pay. So if he does leave, he'd get a nice little payout. But I don't know. I haven't even heard another NRL club in for him. I haven't.
Right.
Haven't heard one.
Were Dragons linked to him?
Everyone's been offered him. You've been offered him for 2 years now.
Yep.
I
Would you?
For the right price.
What's the right price? If he's on 800, what's the right
If I got him
price?
for half, I'd take him.
It's an interesting one. It is an interesting one, no doubt about that. In the meantime, speaking about, this guy is certainly not on overs. This is Mitchie's team. Will Kennedy, according to David Riccio, the great doctor at the Daily Telegraph, is staying a Shark after putting pen to paper on a new contract, re-signing for the 2026 season. So salary cap pressure, they have the Sharkies at the moment. Oh, wow. No. They were able to offer Kennedy a cut price deal. Is this true?
But Dave wouldn't get it wrong, mate.
But how would the NRL even approve this? A cut price deal for a fullback who led the Dally M's, by the way, at the start of the year, $350K.
Yeah, because they've said to him all along, that's the offer we're giving you.
$350K for Will Kennedy.
And there was no market for him, Joel.
That
if
is
you sat down, okay, with all due respect to it, if you sat down
Yep.
and worked out all the fullbacks, where does he rank?
He's a good player, mate.
Okay, where does he rank?
Okay,
Let's go through
Can I change my answer to?
No.
Okay.
If we went through the ladder,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
He's not going to Canberra. He's not
Okay.
going to Melbourne. He's
Yep.
not Canterbury. You could say, argue, yes.
Yep.
Brisbane, no.
Right now, is he doing everything Dream Buller's doing? Right now,
Dream Buller,
you think Dream Buller is clearly better than Dream Buller's a gun. I love the kid,
yes,
but do you think he's clearly better than Kennedy?
Yes.
Really?
yes.
Mate, Kennedy is a serious player.
He's super consistent.
Yeah.
But we're still going through these fullbacks, right?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, keep going.
So you'd say Canterbury, maybe the Warriors.
Yep.
Okay. Not Penrith.
Right.
Not Roosters. Not Dolphins. Not Manly. Iongi. I'm keeping Iongi. All right. Ahead of him.
Yep.
Drinkwater. I'm keeping.
Yep.
You're saying Buller. I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying Bull. I love them both. I think they're both
You gotta
quality
choose one.
players. Okay. Kennedy at this stage.
Okay. So
For 1 year, I'd take
so that's
Kennedy.
3. I'm 2.
Yep.
For 1 year. Okay. And then Latrell. No.
No. Kennedy is a better fullback than Latrell.
Dry Gray. I wouldn't swap him for Dry Gray.
Kennedy is a better fullback than both those two.
Okay. I would say no.
Jai Gray's had a cracking season. Kennedy is a better fullback. He's not a better player than Latrell Mitchell, but he's a better fullback than both those
That's
two.
fine. Okay. Dragons. Gutho. Maybe. Let's touch
Coin
and go.
flip.
Yeah. Keanu Kinney at the Gold Coast. I'm not swapping him.
Oh, please. Kennedy is better than Kinney.
Yeah, but you're thinking about you got to go long term. Is it just for 1
No,
year
I'm-
you're talking
no.
about?
Even still, for 1 year, I'm
Kennedy
taking
is better.
Keanu
Kennedy
Kinney.
is better than Kennedy is an underrated player. Keep
And
going.
Kalen. At
Oh,
Newcastle.
of course, Kennedy's. He's better than Kalen. Joking.
So you've got
Joking.
him, what, 11th?
Yeah,
Or
10th or 11th. He's a class. What I'm saying is, influence on a game, 350K. If you went through the list of players on 350K and his ability to influence a game, regardless of their position,
That's great value.
he is way better than that.
Great value. I don't think the Sharks can win the comp.
Okay, let me ask you this then. You've mentioned all those fullbacks. How many clubs would sign Kennedy at 350?
All of them.
All of them.
At 350?
All of them.
Of course.
Every single one
because
of them.
at 350, you can be a backup fullback.
Yep. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm signing him at 350. No
so
doubt.
Dino Mezzatezza and the team there take a bow. That is pinch a clock. That is a great signing. 1300 01 1170. The additional 12-month contract will also position Kennedy in position ahead of the. So it's a 1 year deal, and all of a sudden he, like the rest of the National Rugby League, will be linked to the Perth Bears. Tourist.
Fullbacks off contract, 2026. Kennedy, is he beating any? These are the players that come with a contract.
Are you saying end of 26?
End of 26. So
Okay.
this is when he now comes off contract with
Yep.
the Sharks. There are some names around. I think that's why it's probably only a 1 year deal. Tane Tuapiki, Tom Trbojevic, who knows what's happening there, Connor Tracy, James Tedesco, Nick Meaney, Jermaine Osako, Jai Gray, Trai Fuller, Cade Dykes, Jaden Campbell. These are all off contract at the end of 2026. I think a 1 year deal for the Sharks, you got to do it.
Yeah, well, that's what he's doing. He's thinking long term. So whoever manages Will Kennedy, I think it's a good play. It's a good play. It's a short term loss.
I think it was the market, Joel, for him. I seriously
It's
do.
not the market.
It is the.
If 100% of teams would take him at the price, MC, it is
Yeah.
not the market.
Well, that is the price though. But no one would get him at 450. They're all signing him at 350.
Okay, news around Herbie Farnworth.
Yeah, big news around Herbie. 12-month extension was off contract at the end of next season, but will stay until the end of 2027. And we'll definitely ask Terry what the thought process was around that. But he's an elite centre, world-class centre. Will play for England in the Ashes. And Jolie, as you said, I honestly believe in the next 3 years the Dolphins could win the title.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know Matty Johns, I know Fletch, they are very bullish. And when you've got this, and this is, by the way, an official statement by the Dolphins, they could, but it's a hard comp. So, can I ask you this, MC? Have we ever had more coaching depth in our lives? Like coaching to me is everything, right? It's so hard to win. You've got to go past Cleary. You've got to go past Madge. You've got to go past Bellamy. You've got to go past Robinson. You've got to go past Sticky. Like, and I've left many out off the top of my head, but it's a tough comp to win, isn't it?
It is a tough comp, and shown by the fact that not a lot of sides have won the comp lately. Obviously,
Yeah.
Panthers, Roosters, Storm have dominated in recent seasons, and then obviously Brisbane got the job done this year. But yeah, there's lots of premiership droughts. It's the Dragons, 15 years since they won. Sharks, 10 years next year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you blink and it's Tigers 20 years.
Well, there's been 16 teams for a long time, 17 now, but you kind of should win every 16 years if everything's been fair. But it's hard. It's hard. It
You
is
take it
really,
once every
really
16
hard.
years if you're a supporter.
So just on that, MC, and I've had this idea.
Mm-hmm.
Can we do a traveller?
I was with you on Tuesday with your idea. We're going to go back to back.
Okay, I'm going to save it. I'm going to
Okay.
save it for the travel a little bit later on. I've got an idea.
Okay.
Because the salary cap is not quite achieving what it wishes to achieve. In the meantime, the Dolphins' official statement, Herbie Farnworth has added another year to his current deal after signing a contract extension last night before jumping on a plane to England. Herbie said, easy decision for me as I did not see myself going anywhere else. When I look at the roster the club has built for the Dolphins, I'm so excited about what this team can achieve in the next couple of seasons. I believe we have the team to go with any other in the NRL, and I can't wait to see what we do. How would he have felt about the Broncos win?
Oh, obviously, you'd be mixed.
Yeah.
You'd be mixed.
Yep.
All those guys that leave a club over the last couple of seasons, how do you think Xavier Coates felt? Herbie and Flegler, all these guys, to a lesser extent, Tom Dearden, who had to leave to resurrect his career, you'd be sitting there going, could have been me. Who doesn't think that? You'd have to. There'd be a part of you that does think like that. Happy for your mates, but going, But the Dolphins aren't far away, Joel. I'm
No, I agree. I agree.
Young Katoa, have you interviewed him before?
No.
He is. You know what I love about him?
Yep.
He's a footy nerd.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I remember speaking to him one day, and he was talking about, he watches this player because the way he shows the ball. He watches this player because the way he kicks. He watches this player for the way he holds the he was just sitting there breaking down individuals, and I was like, mate, I could talk to you all day. He's a kid.
Well, that's
right?
Fletcher and Matty John said the same thing. They had him on his program, and they just couldn't believe it.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's super impressive.
Never had a drink.
Loves the game, but first, he's a student of the game.
Yep.
Like, how many times do you speak to players? Who's playing? Who am I playing this? I don't even know who I'm playing. They're unaware of the history, and you don't need that, right? But when I hear a player talk with such passion about the game, I like that.
Wow. There you go. Now, I've come up with this story myself, MC. So, Sport Confidential has obtained the 6-page short-form contract that was sent from R360 to player
like a good
agents.
yarn, Jolie. You're on fire.
As they attempt to lock in players for its inaugural season, which is scheduled to kick off October 2 next year. It's understood the breakaway competition has locked in enough players to launch a 6-team competition next year. Wasn't my story, folks. It was Batman and Robin, Carayannis and Reed. Tell us about this, MC.
Yeah, so obviously you can read the full document and contract online. We it's been a secret little contract that's been obviously leaked to us. But, yeah, it has some interesting takeaways, right? So they must be available for a maximum of 16 games a season. So that's not a lot, a maximum of 16 games.
So how many seasons are they how many games
regular
are they supposed
season,
to play?
I think is there 12? I don't know what the regular season is.
But they're saying a maximum of 16.
Maximum of 16, right? So the season, that would be from start to finish.
Right.
Right? So you got to be...
sorry. They don't need to be available for 16 games.
No.
Up to a maximum of 16.
So they'll play a maximum of 16 games,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay.
And that their image rights will be made available to the company or the franchise, but the player shall remain entitled to enter into boot-related contracts. So that boot endorsements are fine, but every other imagery will have to go through the club or the R360 governing body.
Gotcha.
Which is interesting. The R360 will provide relocation and accommodation for family as well to come. So imagine how expensive this is. This roadshow would be so expensive.
So expensive.
And there's obviously a section for payment when most payments will be in US dollars. So it just sits there and you go, okay, well, this thing's inching closer to reality. What it means and how it's going to work, honestly, I have no idea. I don't know how, you sit here and you hear about the money that's being offered, the cost associated with travel, the cost associated with putting all these family members up as well. Some people have 3, 4 kids, 5 kids. It's astronomical.
Can I ask you this, MC? And this is the article in Code Sports, Daily Telegraph, Brent Reed and Michael Carayannis. If you're the father of Jai Gray, what would you tell him to do?
Take the cash.
You'd tell him to go.
Take the cash. If you're a $300,000 NRL player and you're going to get offered $900,000 to $1 million, how do you say no to that?
I don't disagree.
How do you say no to that? Your agent fees will be paid on top of that instead of coming out of your salary. I don't know. I just don't know how anyone in that situation faced with that, where you're going to earn more than double, right, can say no to it. I don't begrudge any player for taking it. Okay.
In 18 months' time, your good self and Robin or Batman, is it still a massive story? Like
it's either It
Is it
either
a huge threat, or is it's, as Peter Volandis says, it's out of a cornflakes box?
in 12 months' time, Joel, it'll either be the biggest thing to damage the game since Super League, or we're going, what a joke that was. There'll be no in between.
So Volandis would have to be Volandied.
It would be Super League-esque if this competition gets off the ground. Say in the first year they have half a dozen players because people aren't willing to take the community, and it gets off the ground and the players cash in and it's well run and all that, and it's a success. That next year, that number would double. The year after, that number would double. It's inevitable.
Okay, but MC, where I'm going to, it may have come out of a cornflakes box, but if Jai Gray is being offered $800K US dollars,
It's madness.
and with the tax benefits,
Yep.
then seriously, what is going to be put on the table for Reece Walsh, Nathan Cleary?
Well, Payne Haas will earn, I reported a month ago, $2.3 million. I think yesterday Reedy reported $3 million. So a season. So somewhere
What did you
between
report?
2.3. This was about.
And what is
Reedy said. So this has evolved since then.
All right.
So this would have been about 4 or 5 weeks ago. I reported. Reedy said up to $3 million. So we're talking
US.
Aussie.
Oi.
Yeah. So
Oi.
we're talking from between 2 to 3 mil a season.
Wow.
Who says no to that?
That's what I'm saying. And,
How can you?
And you get one of those, I am concerned, folks. I don't know if you are.
Now, it's been all about Vegas full package.
Mm.
It's been about Brisbane. But there's a little brother or little sister who has been just escalating in a major way. And I'm pleased to say, I'm talking to the Dolphins, that is. Chief Executive Terry Reeder joins us. G'day, Tez.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are we?
You're sounding great, Tez. Great to have your company. Congratulations on what you've achieved so far. I'll hit you with this straight away. If you were offered what you've done to this point prior to your very first game, and they said, righto, Terry, this is where you'll be in 3 years or thereabouts, are you signing that contract?
I think most people would take that. We're really proud of what we've managed to achieve inside the first 3 seasons. And you remember, we only had 12 months to get ready. Only had a 12-month runway to get it all together and build but the people we've put behind things and the players we've brought in, our strategy, and certainly we're coming into the best part of that now. We've got our academy players starting to come into our top 30 and into the dev list now. So that's already starting to appear, and it just puts us in a really good position with the work we've done over the last 3 years on the roster.
Chatting with the Dolphins Chief Executive Terry Reeder. Now, Tez, just on this, right, so you mentioned that the very short time frame that you had to put this squad, team, club together. Have you heard from the Perth Bears? Because they're going to face something similar.
With the I've spoken to the Perth and PNG guys a fair bit, but they're very different markets where they both are, but similar challenges. So now we've offered to lend them support or any advice anytime they need it. But there's a big job. It's a big job in front of them. I think sometimes the unintended product of our success is that people think it's easy, and it's not. And recruitment's the hardest. Recruitment was the hardest part, and making sure you get that right and make the right decisions. And that's probably going to be the hardest part. And as you've seen, corporately over there, they seem to be doing really well. And likewise here in Brisbane, it's the home of rugby league. I know that might be controversial for your Sydney listeners, but it's hard to escape rugby league here. It is king, and with our crowds that we have, I think we're second behind the Broncos in just about every measure off the field. So probably just shows you how much a second team was needed in Brisbane. But we've worked really hard to put all that and build our brand, and it's so far so good and coming along nicely.
Terry, you mentioned recruitment, one of your greatest recruits, I guess. There's a long list of them, but one has been Herbie Farnworth. You locked him away for another 12 months, so until the end of 2027. Firstly, I guess the intrigue around the deal that it's only 12 months. Can you talk us through the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, no, I can. Firstly, wonderful news for our club that Herbie signed on again. Obviously, we think he's the best centre in the game, and he is an elite player, and he's got confidence in the squad, and he signed on before he'd even played a game, if you remember correctly. So and there's nothing sinister in the 1 year extension. It takes it out to the end of 27. But more importantly, that's because we're going to a new broadcast cycle in 28, so we don't know what the cap will be and how it'll look. So we just made sure we got that locked away before he got on the plane last night to head to the Ashes, where I've got no doubt he'll be starring for England very soon.
Reigning Dally M's in the Dolphin house. So Herbie Farnworth, despite missing so much football, he picks up one of the centre of the year positions. You've got the halfback of the year. Now that's kind of the spot you want to get, Terry, and that is this youngster Isaiah Katoa, halfback of the year. That is massive. But of course, the guy on the wing who just keeps scoring points. Dally M, point scorer of the year once again.
Yeah, no, those three. Actually, they won the RLPA awards, Izzy and Herbie. They missed out on the Dally M half and centre, but Jermaine did get top point scorer again. He broke that 30-year record in our first year too. We was leading try scorer and point scorer together. So no, you make a good point. Having a halfback that's was in the race to the end in the top three, even Teddy won by a lot. He's been wonderful for us, Izzy, and I'm glad he's signed with us until at least to the end of 2028.
Yeah, sorry. When I say Dally M's, that's my team, Terry. So over to you, Mick.
What about a few of your other signings for next year? Selwyn Cobbo. How's Christian going to fit all those guys in the back line? You got some speed there next year.
No, we have, and you look at our team, and one thing you look at the season we've had, and in the first year we won 9, then we won 11, and we won 12 this year, and unfortunately 12 wasn't good enough for the finals. But we had probably the worst injury toll in the league, but mainly our middles, the big boys. So our backs did a wonderful job doing what they did, scoring more points than any other team in the NRL this year. And when we look at a season, you've never got the full squad to pick from. And I know talking to Wolfie yesterday, we're going through things about whenever it's fit, it is going to be a hard job, but that's a good position to be in. You've got your roster right when good players have to miss out because they're just as good for competition for spots. And you're a Dolphins fan, so a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, I feel like your injury run, particularly the forwards, was understated this year, and I thought you guys were going to hit the wall a lot earlier than you did, considering the amount of players sidelined. Tommy Flegler, mate, what can you give us an update on him, and can we expect him on the field next year?
No, you can. Tommy, he's probably had the worst run of luck out of anyone. That's 3 years in a row with a major injury taking him out for almost the whole season. But we had, obviously, Flegs didn't play at all. DSAF only got injured with his shoulder in round 8. Gilbert was out round 10. Plath was similar round 8 or 9. And then obviously Bostock and then Herbie for the final stretch. Majority of those injuries were season ending. And generally middle. But they're all progressing well, and DSAF, Flegler, and Tommy Gilbert should all be back in to do full pre-season after Christmas and be hopefully right to go for round 1. Flegs is a bit of a... we'll have to see how he goes through training, but everything's progressing, and he'll be able to come back in, which I think we've sort of let everyone know that he'll start doing a bit of contact post-Christmas, and fingers crossed that he can continue to go in the right direction.
Chatting with Dolphins Chief Executive Terry Reeder. Now, Cobbo's one of your signings, Brad Schneider, who's in the PM's 13 side. Morgan Knowles. Don't know a lot about Morgan, Terry. Do you know much about him?
Yeah, you'll see him. He's St. Helens. In fact, he's a... Wolfie had him obviously over at St. Helens, but he just won the lock of the year in their Dally M, or their Man of Steel team of the year, their dream team. So no, he's had a wonderful year for St. Helens, and he'll no doubt play a starring role for the England team in the upcoming Ashes. So no, we're very happy to bring him into our squad. He's would have been very valuable for us this year too, with all the middles we had out. But I think he'll fit in nicely at our club.
The likes of Bears head Brian Fletch, Matthew Johns, they are seeing blue sky after blue sky after blue sky when it comes to the Dolphins. And even to the point, Terry, where they're tipping that maybe you boys could win the comp next year. That's how bullish some have been. Now, your coach Wolfie, who you refer to, Jermaine Asako, Jerry Marshall-King, they come back from the Kiwis. Tonga, Isaiah Katoa, Felice Kafusi, Finifawaki. You've got Trai Fuller. I think he's a great story too. I'll get back to that in a moment. And Frankie Molo, he's playing for Samoa, and of course England, Morgan Knowles and Herbie Farnworth. So he's going to get a lot of representative players coming back. But I want to talk about Trai Fuller. What a story he is.
He's a wonderful story, Trai. Like he's been a regular since he was played in the Broncos under 20s actually, and then we started playing at Redcliffe, and he's been on the Q Cup Player of the Year a couple of years, and he's also seen a Player of the Year there and done a great job and come along a little later. And everyone told him he's too small, but he's defied all that. And when he's on the field, he's the way he fished our last 4 games, he got man of the match in 3 of them for us. So he out of the 4 games he played at the end after coming back from his ACL. So no, he's a great. And I'm rapt to see him. Everyone's excited to see him get to play in the Provinces 13 on the weekend.
Now, Terry, sorry about this question without notice, and you're going to help us because we've got Australian superstar Mitch Starc about to join us. What would Terry Reader, the CEO of the Dolphins, ask Mitchell Starc for us? And we'll relay that to the great man right after this. What would you say, Terry?
Good question. We got the Ashes coming up, so we got. Do we with England here in November? I think
we do. Yeah, that's a good start. Yeah.
Well, I want to know why the first test is in Brisbane. That's my first question I want to ask. Why have we lost the first test? No, but I don't. We got 2 Ashes, haven't we? The league and the Test cricket. So I'm sure our bowling attack, which looks like the most lethal in the world cricket, will be no doubt the same with those boys throwing down the pace.
Hey, Terry, great answer. You were just about off the hook, and then my colleague, who's known widely as the full package, he just said, "I need one more question."
One more, Terry. One more. R360, mate. Like, what's the chatter like amongst clubs, and I guess the concerns of how genuine a potential raid on some of the stars are?
I think, and listening to Peter Volandes talk about it, a lot of what he said is completely right. If you're making a gamble to go on something that you don't exactly know what it is, but more or less it's going to be like the Harlem Globetrotters sort of roll in and play games on weekends and have concerts around it. It's not really the same as playing in the NRL. And I know I won't name names of players in our squad, but they want to play finals. They want to play in a proper comp. They want to win premierships, play for their country, and play Origin. And you can't do that if you're off doing those exhibition style tournaments. Now the money is pretty good, but it's I think as long as we've got our comp like we do, things like that will come and go, and they always seem to come up every couple of years. There's a Rebel League or Rebel something coming, and I think as long as our game keeps doing what it's doing, why would someone really want to leave?
Stadium plan, Tez. We said goodbye about 5 minutes ago, but we've got here still. 10 games at Suncorp, 2 at KO next year. Thoughts?
That's we actually play 9 at Suncorp, 2 at KO, and then we have a floating game which is in Darwin next year. But we've averaged 28,000 for our games at Suncorp since we've started, which is wonderful. The 2 Brisbane sides continually have the biggest crowds again with how much they love league in our city, and I think that's as we get the balance right of the venue and how we break it on to make sure we can still play at least one game continually at our spiritual home, and we'll do a similar thing next year with 9, 2, and then the one floater, which we'll take up to Darwin.
Terry Reader, the CEO of the Dolphins, you'll be pleased to know that we've got no more last questions. Okay, mate, well done. Well done on what you've achieved. Dreams are free. Blue skies are there. Green shoots, all the puns. Thank you so much for joining the run home.
No, I appreciate it, boys. It's always good to come on and talk Dolphins. And last but not least, fins up. Thank you, boys.
Beautiful. Well done, Terry.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.